welcome our esteemed speaker, Dean of Culture at Rishi Hood University and Director of the Center for Human Sciences as well, Professor Dr. Sampadananda Mishra ji. He is a very well-known name, especially in the arena of Sanskrit literature and Bal Sahitya. So without further ado, please join me in welcoming Sampadanand sir.
Namaskar and welcome to this 9th International Day of Yoga. Yoga has been defined in various ways by various Shastrakaras, by various yogis. But here I am going to tell you a little story in order to understand what is yoga. So if we contemplate on the definitions given on yoga in the tradition, so one thing which comes to the front is that at the center of everything is the mind, the most chaotic part of our being, of our consciousness, which needs to be quietened, where we need to achieve that level of tranquility. So we have chitta vritti nirodha, tad vritti nirodha, or we have mana prashamana upayaha. So the yoga is the means by which we attain to that state of tranquility. So then through that tranquil mind, we can achieve something good in life, or we can remain swastha. There is a beautiful dialogue between Vasishtha and Rama, where this is from Yoga Vasishtha. So where Vasishtha explains like how one becomes diseased. What is the source of all disease, or aswasthata? So he says everything begins with the chitta kshobha, idhurata. So the verse says, chitte vidhurite deha sankhobham anuyatyalam. That means once there is any negative thought or negative emotion which arises in our consciousness, in our mind, in the chitta, so what happens is there is a sudden throb, sudden disturbance which takes place in our system, in our physical system. And that disturbance, it affects the flow of prana. The flow of prana through nadis, through the nerve channels. In the usual state, the flow of pranic energy through the nerve channels is very rhythmic. But once this flow of prana becomes disturbed by the disturbance of the deha, then what happens? The nadis, the nerve channels, either it becomes rikta, shunya, and it becomes deflated, or it becomes swollen. And that affects directly the digestive system. So we have ajirnata, we have kujirnata, we have atijirnata. Either we have indigestion or bad digestion, or we have excessive digestion. Because of this problem in the digestive system, so the food stuff which should have been flushed out, it remains in the body, and that manifests as a disease. Then the question comes, how to become free from this, how to address this. So then we can maintain swasthata, we can prevent this. Then the text Yoga Vasishtha, it explains various techniques, all the different kinds of techniques. And all these techniques, it is not necessary that everyone has to follow all the techniques, but the different techniques are given because one of the techniques may be conducive to one's own temperament, one's own swabhav, one's own swadharma. And all these different upayas, different techniques, different means which are described, they come under the purview of yoga. That one single terminology which is used for the different techniques to become free from this problem, the acute problem or the root cause of all our diseases, which starts with the chitta kshobha, the mental disturbance. Mind, therefore, is at the center of yoga, that needs to be brought into a state of silence, and a silent mind is more effective and helps us remaining well in life. So this is how, if we look at our tradition, we see in a very scientific way, in very methodical ways, different processes, different techniques which are given to us, which are suitable to various, people having different temperaments, belonging to, having different swabhava and swadharma, because the yoga takes care of that. So, therefore, it is advised that in our life, we all must remain in a state of yuktata, yoga, or in a state of yoga. That connection, and what can bring that tranquility, that silence, is our connection with the deeper self of ours. So therefore it is says that when our outer projected self, instead of roaming outside, roaming in the external world, starts living in our inner world, then we are connected, then we are yukta. And this is where the journey of yoga begins. Once again, I welcome you all in this small program for celebrating the International Day of Yoga at Rishihood University. And to move forward, we have two wonderful speakers, experts, practitioners. One is Swami Taponidhi Ji and one is Eddie Stone Ji. So Eddie Stone Ji will be joining at 5:30 to give his lecture. So we now welcome to Swami Taponidhi Ji, who is an expert on pranayama and different kinds of yogic practices, yoga nidra, and various other practices of yoga. He is a very well-known name from Bihar School of Yoga. So we welcome you, Swamiji, and I request you to begin your deliberation on the topic, the yoga for the youth, though the theme set by the government of India is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. That is the broad theme. So specifically at Rishihood University, we have kept the theme yoga for the youth. So how do we address the youth and then infuse in them this whole idea of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam through the process of yoga? So this is what is expected from the two expert speakers of today. So once again, Namaskar Swamiji and welcome. And then please move forward with your deliberation. Dhanyavad.
Hari Om Tat Sat. Let us begin with 3 Oms and followed by Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, recalling the teachings of the Gurus, paying obeisance to them. To begin, settle yourself comfortably with the spine, the neck and the head upright and aligned, placing the palms of the hands comfortably, elbows relaxed, shoulders relaxed, eyes softly and gently closed. Become aware of the flow of the breath through the nostrils. Feeling the cooling, a gentle cool sensation with the inhaling breath. And a warm sensation with the exhaling breath, a slightly warm sensation. And letting go of the awareness of the breath, shift the focus of your attention to the eyebrow center, visualizing a spot of light steady and bright. While maintaining the attention on the spot, to chant the mantra Om, followed by Om Shanti Shanti Shanti, also together with me. Inhale. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Repeating or joining in with me. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Gently rub your palms vigorously. Palm the eyes. Open the eyes within the palms. Gently remove the hands. Hari Om Tat Sat. Hari Om Tat Sat. Hari Om Tat Sat. Before I begin, I'm thankful to Dr. Professor Sampadanand Mishraji, Dean, Center for Human Sciences, Prashoot University, and the Indian Yoga Association for inviting me to share my thoughts on this important subject of yoga for the youth, the need of the day. So before we move on to the subject, who is a youth? Let us understand this very clearly. Before I bring out the subject of yoga and its purpose for the youth, a young person who is between adolescence and maturity, so he is in a period of growth and development, with the ability to learn and adapt to the environment. A person who is willing to learn and who is ready to act on the learnings while achieving his or her goals. So he is able to adapt, accept, accommodate. It is such young people who can become social reformers. And this is where the concept of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam comes in, where the youth of today will take up the concepts of life in a positive, creative manner and develop the society accordingly. So they can bring about a change in society. They can face an aggressive situation. And if need be, look at our cricket team. If they are facing an aggression, they are aggressive. You give a full toss and they will kick the ball out, hit the ball towards the six. Yeah. So they are ready to face life. They have faced 2 years of the pandemic, as well as the lockdowns, the restrictions on movement. in the freedom of movement. Many of them have experienced the effect of war in their lives. They are far away from the vicinity of the war, but it is affecting them as it affects everybody. Essentially, what we are looking at is we are looking at behavior, actions, performance in life to be physically fit, mentally strong in the face of difficulties. In simple terms, behavioral science. That is the youth which we want to cultivate, who is positive, creative, aggressive, ready to achieve, work hard, mentally balanced, alert and awake, emotionally harmonious. Emotions don't allow him to run away. Spiritually enlightened, intuitive knowledge is awakened. When does this happen? When one faces a situation in life, or there is an interaction in life, you interact with people in life. How does this individual personality interact with the world, the environment, and the people around as events unfold? I will just give a simple example. Dr. Sampadananji sent me a message. Would you be free on this day from 4:30? So I said, the questions that start coming is immediately, a thought is created. And he was just saying about a few minutes ago, he told us that the mind is at the center of all activities in life, in this human personality. So a thought is created in the mind. This mind can be very creative, and it can construct various thoughts, various ideas. It just needs a trigger. And the trigger can be external or internal. Now that thought which comes up can be a well-planned thought, a proper direction thought from the heart with a proper intention for one's own well-being as well as the well-being of others around. This is indicative of the alertness of the mind. That mind is alert once it has received some information. Awareness of the mind. Such a thought, the mind which creates, one of them is known as sankalp. This is a sankalp. A positive creative, it energizes all your energies of the body and the mind are in one stream. Or the opposite of it. Various thoughts emerge when this situation comes up. If you're not alert, you don't know which direction to go to. So, if you're not alert, the mind can take you away in a different direction altogether from what is happening at the present moment. Or you could be daydreaming, fantasizing about a future event, or playing mental gymnastics of past events, how they have happened. Thinking something that does not exist. Imagination. Such thoughts are known as vikalpa. It is through such type of thoughts which erupt up, emerge at the level of the mind, that a human personality interacts with the world around, the environment, and the people. Now, this individual personality is what I call individual consciousness. And the mind, which is known as manas in Sanskrit, is a function, is an interactive function. It is a transactional function with the world within and the world outside. The thoughts have emerged from where? What I receive as a vibration, as a sound, as something from somebody else. But what emerges from within is at the level of the mind. The interactive, the transactional consciousness is the mind, that which transacts business, that which is limited. I will explain the word limited in a few moments. So the first thing is that it comes up at the level of the mind. Sankalp, vikalp. Sankalp concentrates the energy. Vikalp dissipates the energy. You do not know which direction you are going. There is another faculty of this individual consciousness. If you are alert and awake, then you will start using your discriminative faculty. You'll start to discern the thoughts which have emerged and choose one. This is where Sampadananji was saying positive and negative thoughts. So this is the buddhi, intelligence, discriminative faculty. So this discriminative faculty, I just want to give an example how it is used. There was a young boy with a bird in hand. He hides the bird at his back. And he is asking his teacher, the wise one, is the bird in my hand dead or alive? He is using his intelligence to prove that his teacher is wrong. If the teacher says alive, he will snap it, snap the neck. The bird will be dead. Teacher will be proven wrong. If the teacher says he is dead, then he will release the bird. The bird is alive. But the teacher is a wise one. The wise one says, it is in your hands, son. So the intention behind using your intelligence is in your hands. Please understand this thing very clearly. It is the intention behind the discriminative choice that matters. What is it that is guiding our decision-making process for interaction in life? For attaining something, for getting something, for possessing something. We wish to attain something, something that we like. Something that we don't like, we want to avoid. Now, so often our decisions are made on fear of losing, fear of not ready to let go our identity or objects due to clinging, attachment. This is mine and belongs to me. So the decision-making process is based on so many other factors like desire, passion, which can lead to anger. It can even be greed, Kam, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, attachment. It could be pride, murder, intoxicated with your own self. Envy and jealousy, he has it, I don't have it. We are talking of right now of how a human personality interacts. We started with the youth and how a young person can learn or imbibe. So what I'm coming to say is that once you have made a choice, that choice becomes an impression in the mind. Please look at yourself. I like chocolate ice cream. I do not like some other ice cream. Pista flavor, for example. Whenever there is an ice cream, you will choose. You are conditioned, basically. Your activity, rajas, is a conditioned activity. This is what is known as choices become samskaras, impressions. Our decisions in life are made because of a past impression, past samskara. Even our natural, spontaneous interactions. For example, I gave the example of an ice cream. Due to the likes and dislikes ideas within the head and the fact which is in front of you. The facts get internalized and the ideas get projected as a like or a dislike. This is the background which is telling us that as individuals, I do not have any control over the sense functions, neither over how the mind will interact in life. Much less do we have control over the facts which are external, a war, a COVID, a pandemic. So the actions which we have, the behavior which we have is non-deliberate. It is involuntary. And so often, like Yudhishthira says, Janami cha dharmam nacha me pravritti, not Yudhishthira, sorry, Duryodhana. Janami cha dharmam, what is appropriate. That which is appropriate is good for everybody in society, a behavior and action. I'm limiting the definition of dharma. Janami cha dharmam nacha me pravritti, I'm not inclined towards it. Janami cha adharmam, I know what is inappropriate, but I'm not free of it. Nacha me nivritti, I'm not free of that. I have to act that way. It is inescapable. My behavior and action is inescapable. We are talking of behavior and action of the youth, how they will cultivate it. And we are talking of samskaras. So samskaras, can they be planted? The science of yoga will come over here. So we have talked of the states of the mind, sankalpa, vikalpa. Vikalpa, confused mind. State of conflict. Either jaye, go left, go right, do this, do that. What? The mind, the personality is at a loss. It does not know what to do. Shipta vikshipta states cannot perform in life. Please don't look at this as philosophy. Look at this as a practical aspect of life. Where is the mind with a sankalp? We are asked to take a sankalp. Our energies are directed in one particular direction. There is clarity of perception. A situation comes up and you seek a solution to it. You are not in a state of conflict. You are choosing. You are seeking a solution to a problem. I was asked whether I can participate in this or not. The first thought, is it the Indian time? The answer was yes. I was free at that time. I had to find out. Otherwise, I have some other activities. Is it going to be like we are online? The third question that came to my mind was, what is the subject matter and how long it will last? Because again, the next part of my program should not be hindered and I should not be able to accept it if it is interfering. I can always say, sorry, I'm just giving an example. And the topic was youth, the yoga for the youth. And that is what we are talking of. So, sankalp and vikalpa are explained and understood. I hope so. States of the mind. Now, these states of the mind, confusion or clarity of thought, they are reflections of what? It is, you say, sankalpa is a state of harmony. This is a disturbed harmony, conflict state. Vikalpa is a state of disharmony. And they are arising from within, deep samskaras, karmas, and instincts. 4 main instincts. Ahar, Nidra, Bhay, Methun. They are driving us. We may not know it. That is a different matter. But they are, you see, these thoughts are the states of the mind. The states of the mind are not related to the thoughts, the desires, the feelings, the emotions which arise up. Sankalp and Vikalp are not based on the thoughts, the desires, the feelings, the emotions. They are not the mind. Let us understand this simple science. We are leading to the science of samskaras. How we are performing in life. Normally, we are conditioned. Tamas is a conditioned state of behavior and expression. Every time an event happens, karma, it will happen and you behave the same manner. Samskara. Karmas are events of life which come to your life. They keep on happening again and again and again till you learn, become awake and alert to transcend them through a different behavior pattern. Then samskaras will not trigger of the karmas, and karmas will not trigger of the samskaras. So samskaras, fundamentally, impressions, they give birth to our behavior and mental attitudes. They connect us with the world. They are catalysts. They are writings which are shaping our thoughts and mind, our intentions. They define our character. So we say, please understand this thing. I will repeat again that we are talking of youth who should be taking balanced, harmonious decisions. Youth is an international term. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. And yoga is beyond all this. So where do we get our samskaras from? Initially, it's from our parents and family members. We see and learn how they behave. We behave. We go to school, they are friends, teachers, the culture of the society. An Indian young boy and girl, they behave differently than a Western young boy and girl. Because he is or she in the West has been brought up differently. Here in India, we are bringing them up differently. So these have got very deep. They are very deep in the state of our consciousness, at the unconscious and subconscious level. At the conscious level, dream level also, subconscious level also, the thoughts are coming up. Unconscious level, consciousness is functioning, but we are not aware of it. That is the deep sleep state. So consciousness is functioning ever. It is at the background of this external dimension of our life. It is at the background. Now, samskaras, it could be inhibitions due to repressions. We have repressed ourselves, not saying something or not doing something. We're going on pressing, and it is staying in the mind and it is guiding our life, our behaviors. They could be memories also, causing one to act in a specific manner. Just imagine, we have Garbha Sanskaras, 16 of them. Samskaras are given, memories are created, so that you behave in a specific manner. Then there are latent, unexpressed memories, instinctive reflexes. Sampadananji was talking about digestion, indigestion, overdigestion, bad digestion. Now, digestion of food, who is teaching you? They are pre-programmed instinctive reflexes. Please understand this thing. These things are not taught, but the body functions. The biorhythms of the body, the hormonal changes. A lady is able to understand very well a young person because he or she is undergoing menstrual cycles every month. Cosmic rhythms. You can see the birds fluttering when there is a Surya Grahan, an eclipse. So samskara is educating the mind through impressions to develop an integrated akara, integrated image of oneself towards a creative expression in life. I hope this is something very clear. We talked of mana buddhi. We are talking of samskaras. We talked of the different states of the mind, where sankalp means one-pointed focus, and energies are directed in one direction. Then the kshipta, vikshipta states, vikalpa state. What is the nirodha state? He talked of the definition of yoga as chitta vritti nirodha, tatta nirodha. It is the state of that mind which is relaxed. You are identifying with relaxation. You are identifying with, just a moment, please. My battery is low. I'll just switch on the power. So we are actually looking at a person who is in a relaxed state while interacting in life, tranquil state of body and the mind. And he's enlarging the area of awareness, leading to a focused experience. So he's holding his attention, awareness, through attention, directing the attentive faculty. Otherwise, the mind will dissipate. If the mind is not attentive, attention is not directed, the mind will dissipate, as it happens in meditation. The mind wanders away, going on and on. So we are coming to aham akara, chitta and chinta. Chitta is memories. Mana buddhi chitta ankara. Ahankar is identifying with the self, with your own self. I have this samskara, I am knowing this. The operation of these four faculties is so quick, so fast, that we do not even recognize. We see a pen, it is a Parker pen, the samskara within has recognized it. It is saying that you like a blue color pen and not a red color pen. The discriminative faculty is not used at all. So the functions in a human being are an interaction between energy and consciousness for an integral experience. Yoga is talking of, I'm coming to the subject of yoga. I will be delving deep into it. And then what yoga could be valid for the youth. I will come to that. So youth, how a personality interacts. I'm not talking of the age at all over here, as far as youth is concerned. I'm talking of growth and development at every stage of life. The functions of the human being are an interaction between energy and consciousness. Ida, consciousness, pingala. There is a bindu, and that is the chakra. Let me talk about this a little bit later. There are 5 sheets. This personality is not just the physical body. Because today what is happening is yoga is taught as a physical practice. The essence of the mind, Anushasanam, is lost. The vision of the rishis, that the prayer which is taught right in the beginning of Patanjali Yoga Sutras, what does it say? Yogena chittasya. Through yoga, individual consciousness management. Padena vacham, vaka, grammar. Vak is very high. Kaya, vak, manasa. We come to kaya. Malam sharirasya, Vaidyakena. Ayurveda for removing the impurities and the toxins within the body. So even per se, the yoga philosophy is talking of chitta management, which is lost today because asanas are being taught, because the other person is wanting it. You are fulfilling the desire of the other person to bend and twist and turn the body the way he or she wants. That is where yoga talks of an experience of the 5 koshas, different dimensions, 5 sheets, in which a human being lives at any given moment. Gross is the physical body. A little bit lesser to it is the prana. Pranamay kosh, manomay kosh, vigyanmay kosh, annamay kosha. Pranamay kosh, maya, composed of anna. But please understand over here, and this is a very subtle aspect, Annamaya Kosha, composed of water and food. And the subtle aspect of it is prana. No prana, no life. You can give a dead body food and water, it will not come to life. So whether it is Annamaya also, prana is the key. Prana is the key for the yogic practices, whether it is physical also. Please understand this very clearly, laying the foundations of yoga practices, what they should be dealing with. So you want to go from gross to subtle, to subtle, to subtle, to Anandamaya Kosha. These are the different dimensions of energy and consciousness. So matter is experienced as energy and consciousness. 5 different energy bodies vibrating at 5 different frequencies. Now these are explained as koshas. Please understand, they overlap each other. They are interrelated. You work on the physical body, pranamaya kosha, manomaya kosha are affected, provided you are aware and alert. So cultivation of awareness and alertness. They are interactive layers, interpenetrating layers of energy. And they form prana. And they form the complete nature of this personality. Physical, mental, spiritual. So you are going from gross to a refined dimension of consciousness to ultimately go to the most refined form of consciousness and energy. From gross to subtle. So what are these koshas and what are they sustained by? Prana, nourished by prana. I brought out this aspect very clearly when I was explaining the Annamaya Kosha. In short, I'm not going to give a talk on Annamaya Kosha. No, that is not the purpose. The purpose is what yoga for the youth, so that they can behave properly, so that they can imbibe good samskaras, that purification can happen within them. Otherwise, a seed which is there will keep on producing the same type of thoughts and ideas throughout your life. You have not changed your consciousness. Why practice yoga? The movement from one kosha to another is through prana. You have to awaken the prana. Pranamaya kosha, my Guruji explains very well, Swami Niranjanananda. So what he is saying is, you have a car, I'm talking of those oldies goldies, where you had 5 different gears to change. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 reverse and a neutral. You start the car in neutral. That is the pranamaya kosha. Prana is the first necessary for life. You go to 1 through neutral. You want to go from 1 to 2, you have to come back to neutral and then go to 2. Second gear. Then from second gear to third gear, and so on and so forth. So pranamaya kosha is the key in activation of everything. So whether you want to gain access to the physical, the mental, the psychic, the intuitive body, the vijnanamaya kosha, or the anandamaya kosha, spiritual dimension, you have to awaken the pranamaya kosha. And this is where we will speak about how pranamaya kosha is fueled and what happens exactly. And then I'll open the session for question and answers. The 5 koshas, I already explained to you, they are interlinked. You work on one, the other is affected. Yogic practices are the means to access these dimensions of human nature and personality. They are different dimensions. To access Annamaya Kosha, what are the practices? Composed of food, air, and prana. Prana is experienced as physical body, nervous energy. Can be experienced through Shatkarmas. Please understand this thing. If you have experienced Shatkarma, Poorna Sannyasa, your inner body will vibrate. You will feel the energies. Believe you me, I'm talking from experience. That is why I'm able to talk like this. Otherwise, it is not possible. Asana and pranayams. So, Annamaya Kosha, to understand it, to purify it. So, purification is the key. Prana should flow freely. If the nerves, they are not flowing freely, My hand is on top of a candle is over here, and it is burning. But if the nerves are not sending the signal back, or I do not have the nerves to pull my hand back, I'm paralytic. So prana is the key. We must understand this thing very much. Physical body. Going to pranamaya kosha, experience through pratyahara practices, beyond the body, through pranas, mudras, bandhas, chakra sadhana, kriya yoga. So hatha yoga and kriya yoga systematically purify and balance the chakras. Now in pranamaya kosha is fueled by the entire pathway of chakras. Sahasrara, Mooladhara, Kundalini. Both ways. Mooladhara chakra. So pranamaya kosha, chakras form the key aspect of it. That is why chakra sadhana. Kriya yoga, kri. Normal energies going down. Ida, Pingla going down, out through the centers, chakras. Chakra is the bindu. I said, chitta, ida, consciousness, force of consciousness, energy of consciousness, force of manifestation, prana. Now you want to access the states of mind. Where is the mind? Anybody knows? Yoga says that in Mooladhara chakra, there is a particular type of mind, which is dealing with security, insecurity, elimination of toxins, going out through the body. Even the birth of a baby is out through Mooladhara. So, Swadhisthana chakra is talking of a different state of mind, unconscious mind, desires, hidden desires. Swadhisthana. We have to access the positive within that. Manipur chakra. Identifications. Rajasic activity. I want this, I can do this, I will do this, I will do everything. Not ready to say no. That identification, intelligence, and come to anahat, emotion. If the air vayu is not balanced, we are taught meditation with pranayam, on the breath. We started with that. Slightly cool sensation inhaling, slightly warm sensation exhaling. What happens? The rhythm of the breath manages the rhythm of the heart. Emotions, positive, negative, both are there. But they become balanced. Yudhishthira, intelligent enough to know that this is dharmic, but I am not inclined towards it. Emotion and intelligence, they do not match. The heart and the head not matching. What happens? Yudhishthira, war happens. Mahabharata happens. The cause of fight. So these chakras have to be balanced throughout all of them. It cannot be that you are working on one and not working on the other. Yoga for the youth. Yeah, I'm laying the foundations. So dynamic mind, physical activity, aggressive emotions, aggressive mentality, aggressive physically. Manipur. Our quality of attraction and repulsion in our nature. Anahat. I told you, positive, negative emotions. We like something, we don't like something. Vishuddhi, space, sound vibrations. Learning to communicate, to receive and communicate. Interact efficiently in life. Effectively in life. Creatively in life. The world vision changes. We look at things differently. There is a big, great optimism within us. And we become positive. When you open up the higher chakras, you have to remove the knots. That is the purification level. What are the knots? The conditionings of the mind. Brahma Granthi, Manipur and Mooladhara and Swadhisthana. Vishnu Granthi, Manipur and Anahat, Rudra Granthi, Vishuddhi and Agya. Then you can connect to Sahasrara, flow of energy. So this is something which has to be understood. So Agya becomes the doorway between manifest energy downwards and consciousness. And this is the unmanifest dimension, universal dimension. So allows the movement from manifest to unmanifest dimensions of the personality. So working through koshas, going through chakras. So pranamaya koshas, I already said, the practices are pranayam, pranvidya, chakra shuddhi, kriya yoga. Manomaya kosha. We talked of two dimensions. I started with the mind and buddhi. These two experiences of the conscious mind are related to Manomaya kosha. So if you want to know them, then you have to practice. This is the Manomaya kosha holds the Annamaya and Pranamaya together. You have to practice mantra, yantra. So mantra and yantra both together. You are doing mala jap, you are focusing also at the same time. Dharana dhyan, pratyahara dharana, both together. So pratyahara dharana, mantra, yantra are the practices, meditation practices for Manomaya kosha. Going to Vijnanmaya kosha. Knowledge derived from past memories, past experiences, not just from this life, from previous life also. And here it is chitta and amkara which come up. You are stimulating. You are stimulating the knowledge which is within you. And you need the mental strength. You have to develop the faculty of inner strength. Mental strength is to be able to act on that inner thought which has come up. Identifying with that and working on that, acting on that. And that is what a youth is. So he will have to access. So his practices have to touch Vijnanmaya kosha. I told you, Ahamkar is becoming aware of the self. It is not a guilt situation. It is not ego, a misunderstood concept. Aham akar, my form and image. So Nada Yoga and Laya Yoga, vibrations. It is through vibrations that you can penetrate the Manomaya and enter into the state of Vijnanmaya and go into Laya, a state of quietness, but a state of awareness. Laya is not just dissipation of the lower levels, but awareness of the higher levels. The next level. When you climb a ladder, you first rest on the above one, and then you release the foot and go on the next step. So you are stable at that level. You let go on something, and that is Laya. Laya Yoga is something, it demands a full lecture, but just to explain to you. And one has to strive, make an effort for Samadhi Yoga, Kundalini Yoga, if you want to go to Anandamaya kosha. So if I had to start the practices for a young boy, then they would start with what I told you in Pranamaya kosha, Annamaya kosha, Shat Karma, Asan Pranayam. Involving prana. Please understand this. If you are not involving pranas, you are not taking him the practice of asanas as taught by Bihar School of Yoga. Thanks to my gurus, physical practice is learned, how to perform physically. Connection of energy, breath-body coordination. The mind gets automatically linked. Each asana has got a chakra. If you are doing Surya Namaskar, I will talk about Surya Namaskar in a moment because it needs some explanation. So you have to deal with chakras then. And then once you are identifying with the energies within and the chakras, the energy will take your body down. Effortless process of asanas. So then you go to pranayam. Next stage of the practice is you are involved in chakras, chakra shuddhi. You go to Kriya Yoga. I told you already, reversal of energy. Manifestation is outward energy. reversal of energy, to go through the different states of consciousness, where the mind is hidden in the different states, granthis, breaking them, deconditioning them through change of behavior and action. Every action leads to a samskara, an impression. So your action should be such, you will decide that I want to stop smoking. The next moment you will go to the pan bidi shop and take a smoke. Your action, is it feeding your sankalp, or is it feeding the cravings of the mind? Action is important. Yoga demands that you participate in life. It is not going away. Then you go to dharana, dhyan, pratyahara. Kriya yoga is a pratyahara practice. Kriya yoga is a dharana practice. Kriya yoga, go to dhyana practice. Then you go to kundalini yoga. This is the sequence of the practices. Now, just to let you know, I said I'll talk about Surya Namaskar. Last point. In India, at the age of 7, 8, a child is given Upanayana Samskar. What is Upanayana? Nayan, we all know it is eyes. Upa, beyond Ida and Pingala, the third eye, intuitive body, and Samskara. Samskara is allowing the samskaras to be imbibed. So he is taught Gayatri Mantra for energy. He is taught Surya Namaskar. He is also taught inverting the energy, Sarvangasana. He is also taught a twisting posture so that the energies can be moved throughout the body. And he is taught alternate nostril breathing to awaken the Agya Chakra. Agya Chakra, intuitive body, pineal gland, calcifies, starts calcifying at that age. Science is today talking of all these things. Our rishis have developed a system which is known as Upanayana Sanskara. Intuitive body, Agya Chakra, stop the calcification. Surya Namaskar, I said Surya Namaskar. When you are in the standing position, base balanced, before you begin the practice, Muladhara Chakra. Pranam Mudra, Heart Chakra. Hands up, Vishuddhi Chakra. So you're moving your energies from Muladhara to Anahat to Vishuddhi. Go down, Hastapadasana. It is going to Swadhisthana. Then you are going to Anjaneyasana. That is Agya Chakra. Ready to run the race of life. Then you again go to Parvatasana. Come to Vishuddhi. Again, you are going down Manipur Chakra, Ashtang Namaskar. Then Bhujangasana, Swadhisthana Chakra. Then Parvatasana. Again, Vishuddhi Chakra. Again, Agya Chakra. Swadhisthana Chakra. Vishuddhi Chakra. And then hands down. Anahat. Balanced Anahat. Balanced air. Balanced breath. I talked about it. So Surya Namaskar is taught as a chakra practice. The question is how to imbibe this. You must have regular daily practice. Satu dirghakala nirantarya satkara sevito. And your actions are important in life. Please don't shortchange them. Otherwise, it is not possible. So I started with students, youth. Who are the students? I am a student at the age of 69 and 70. 69 complete, 70, I am a student. Going down. And then youth, yoga for the youth. I explained the basics. What Professor Sampadanand started with. Mind is the center of everything. Yogas chitta vritti nirodha. It is for the mind. Any yoga you take, even Hatha yoga you take, it is for the mind. Ida and Pingla, her and her, and they interact at the chakras. And that is the mind. The different mind, different states of the mind. There is no medicine for the mind. You cannot have a tablet for the mind because physically it is unknown. Hari Om Tat Sat. I thank Sampadananji once again for inviting me and letting me share my thoughts on yoga for the youth as Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. This type of practice, which can bring about a balance and harmony in a young boy, a young girl, they are the world tomorrow. They are the world tomorrow and they will interact in life. Balance samskaras. I talked of even Garbha samskaras, solar samskaras. So samskaras, please don't take them as bad. They have to be planted and implanted. Namaste. Hari Om Tat Sat. Thanks to the gurus of the Bihar School of Yoga for all the teachings. It is their blessings with which I'm able to talk of all these things. Hari Om Tat Sat. I'm open to question and answers.
Hari Om Swamiji. Thank you so much for this.
Namaste.
Namaste. For this illumined and enlightened conversation. We will just pause for a moment here in case there are any questions from the audience. And as you shared very beautifully, clear idea, a flow of thoughts on how yoga for the youth can emerge, how samskaras may be deplanted, those which are implanted, they may be worked through, and also in a very practical and beautiful manner. I especially like the analogy of the old car with the gears, how you shared that we may move from level to level in our practice, and how this may serve as a practical roadmap for a lot of the aphorisms that we have heard. So many of us who are here today, of course, we may have studied few of Maharishi Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, and it is just so rare that we get an opportunity to actually understand the words behind such terse, loaded statements. And I believe that it can only happen until and unless someone like you has not done the abhyas. Unless we do not pay the price of sadhana, or through our actions, through the right intentions, we do not explore these concepts, they do not come alive and then enable us to share them. So for that, we are so grateful, because just behind this keynote, there are years and years of course, your sadhana, your Guru's blessings as well. So thank you so much again for sharing that with all of us.
Just a little thought, if I may.
Ji.
You see, one may have all the knowledge in life. But if the state of mind is a vikalpa state, all knowledge is useless. If you have that knowledge and your state of mind is of sankalp, focused and directed, then the wisdom will arise from you. Intuitive knowledge will arise from you. So the practices are very clear. The practices are very, very clear. It is just how to put all these concepts together and practice them. You don't need complicated practices. Please, 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 no way. So thank you for that, Damini ji.
Thank you so much, Swamiji.
I have a small question. Can I please ask?
Please go ahead, Harish ji.
Swamiji, namaskar. I have a very simple question, that whatever practice one is doing about asana or pranayam or Surya Namaskar, it becomes little difficult to exactly adhere to a particular time. So if there is a little deviation or some deviation in the timing, is it okay that sometimes I do the Surya Namaskar in the morning, sometimes I do it in the evening? Is it okay, and will it have the same benefit or effect? Or pranayam, for example, Nadi Shodhan pranayam. Of course, the rule of empty stomach will be always adhered to, that one won't do it on the full stomach, sir.
Yes. As a general rule, I understand your question, Harish ji. As a general rule, do you change your 2 food timings? No. Do you change your getting up timings? No. If you have decided to do a practice at 5 o'clock in the morning or 7 o'clock in the morning, does not matter what time you have chosen. What is it that is inhibiting you from doing the practice that day? For example, say I'm traveling. I'm presently at Paradip. Yesterday, I was in Tiruvannamalai. So when I'm traveling, obviously I cannot do the practice. That is permissible. But if it is my state of mind which tells me that I have traveled yesterday and I can't get up in the morning because I traveled yesterday, that is the mind diverting away, because the mind knows that he is going to conquer me. He will make me quiet. The mind is very willy. It is very creative. It can construct and create a diversion very easily. The idea is to stay on the path. Tapas swadhyaya ishwar pranidhanani. Tapa, to stay on the path. The spider goes up, falls down, builds the web. Goes up, falls down, builds the web. Goes up, falls down. But it stays on the path. It never gives up. So 99% of the time, I do not agree with the idea that I should change my time because I don't feel like it. Hari Om. Thank you, Deborah.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Yeah. I hope this answers your question, Harishji.
Yes, it is very clear. And I will make every effort to adhere to the timing that has been chosen.
Make friends with your mind.
Yes.
Don't fight with your mind. Just
Yes,
tell your
Swamiji.
friend.
Yes, Swamiji.
The mind can be told, oh, you're wanting to go away somewhere else. Fine. You go away. I'm doing my Surya Namaskar. And you will see the mind returning back to you and say, okay, I will do Surya Namaskar with you.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Swamiji, we also have a question in the chat box for you. So
please, if you can read it, because I am very poor at managing all this in computer things. If you could please guide me, Damini ji.
Ji. Debra ji says, thanks as ever, Swamiji. A lot to take in. Therefore, questions are unavailable currently. But you mentioned following another's practice as being their practice. Therefore, pardon me, one must develop self-practice? ? In that case, Patabi Joyce, Ashtang, follows the same sequence always. Is that negative? ?
The first thing is you should know your state. I'm not going to teach Kundalini Yoga to a person who has not delved into Hatha Yoga and Kriya Yoga. You have to graduate. So wherever you are, you start from there. This should answer your first question. And second question, I did say that when I'm practicing asanas, I teach asanas first. I go to the breath-body coordination, go to the chakra level, and allow the pranas to move my body. A same asana can become an advanced practice. Now, I will give you an example of a practice. Please understand here, when I'm talking of a practice, what I understand or what I mean. There are 4 practices which can be done. Asana, pranayam, pratyahara, and dharana. Meditation, dhyana happens. Yam, niyam are part of life. So if I am sitting in a posture, I am in asana. What is the benefit of an asana? Tato dvandvana bhigat. Beyond the dualities, my mind is closed, but at the same time, it is attentive. Now, it is attentive. I'm focused on the breath. I can do pranayam. Tasmin sati. After having attained asana, after having attained closure of the Ida and the Pingala, dualities beyond the dualities, I am one-pointed attention. You are in meditation, observing the breath. I'm manipulating the breath. For manipulation of the breath, I use mantra. For example, I'm using a mantra. Mantra by itself, manna tatrayate. Iti mantra. I told you, to access manomay kosh, you must do mantra and yantra. So I am practicing Pratyahara also. And then attention dharana, attention on the eyebrow center or on a spot of light in front of me. So 4 practices in one asana. I am in a meditative posture. Asana is a tent. I am in managing my pranas through pranayam practice, mantra chanting. Then mantra chanting per se purifies the mind, manna tatrayate iti mantra pratyahara practice, and internalize the tension through focus of attention. If you practice only one limb, it is a handicapped practice. You have to practice 4 limbs together. That is the essence of Hatha Yoga. That is the essence of Kriya Yoga, is entirely based on the practices of Hatha Yoga. Look up any text. And Hatha Yoga is based on Tantra. Expansion of consciousness and liberation of energy. Okay. I hope that answers your question. That how I would practice. Or if somebody is practicing just one practice, how that same practice can take you deeper. One has to go into asana, pranayam, pratyahara, dharana. That concept has to be there in your practice. It can be a simple practice. And the simpler it is, the better it is. Because the attention can get focused very fast. Hari Om Tat Sat. Anybody else? Whenever it is time, you please let me know. Damini ji, let me see.
These are all the questions we have with us so far, Swamiji.
Oh, thank you very much.
For so patiently answering. And we thank you again for your kind presence and guidance. And just a word to share with the rest of our audience members. Due to an unavoidable circumstance, unfortunately, Eddie Sternji will not be able to join us live today. So we will schedule another interaction with him. Please stay tuned. And in order to auspiciously close our time together here as well, I would like to make a request for all of us to chant a Shanti mantra together, if that would be fine. Swamiji, if I could request you to guide us through Om Sahana Bhavatu.
Okay. Thank you very much. Settle yourself comfortably with the spine, the neck, and the head upright and aligned. You may be sitting on a chair. Please settle yourself comfortably. You don't have to sit on the floor. Place the palms of the hands on the thighs or on the knees. Elbows relaxed, shoulders relaxed. Open out the shoulders slightly, allowing for free movement of the breath. Eyes softly and gently closed. Center your attention to yourself. Bring your attention to the eyebrow center. Visualize a spot of light. Asana, you are still in steady. Mantra chanting, you will be repeating after me. Attention on the eyebrow center. While chanting, maintain the attention on the eyebrow center. Please repeat the mantras after me. First 3 Oms, followed by Sahana Bhavatu. To join in with me, to chant the mantra Om together, inhale. Please repeat after me. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai
Sahaviryam Karavavahai
Tejasvinavadhitamastu
Tejasvinavadhitamastu
Ma vidvishavahai.
Ma vidvishavahai.
Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Become aware of the gross physical body. Rub your palms vigorously. Palm the eyes. Open the eyes within the palms and gently remove the hands. Hari Om Tat Sat. Hari Om Tat Sat. Hari Om Tat Sat. Thank you, Damini-ji. Thank you, Sampadanand-ji. Center for Human Sciences, Rishihood University, and the Indian Yoga Association for inviting me and allowing me to share my thoughts for yoga for the youth. Hari Om Tat Sat. Please,
Hari Om.
Damini, yeah.
Thank you, Swamiji. Thank you all once again. Also to our audience members who joined. We hope that this enriching talk by Swamiji is something that you will carry. Thank you one and all for joining us here today. We will end our time together by observing 1 minute of silence, allowing our chitta to find ekagrita.